So how can you apply, or what would make you eligible? You need to be 18 years or older, and you need to also be resident in the UK. You must also have the right to work in the UK, and your business needs to be based in the UK. The main reason behind this is it's government-backed money, and so therefore they're interested in making sure that this money is utilised within the UK. You've got to be either starting a new business or you can't have been trading for less than 24 months. And the other thing that you need to prove is that you haven't been able to secure comparable funding elsewhere. What do I mean by comparable funding? Essentially, you need to, as many people who are starting out a business, you won't have a track record. And if you go to the bank, they'll often say, sorry, you've got no history, so we can't support you. Or you might go to an alternative funder, such as Funding Circle, Funding Options, and it's a similar story. Or you might be able to secure finance, but they're going to charge you 10, 15% interest, which in your first couple of years of trading, you might find that's quite a significant cost to your business. And that's where the startup loan fits in. The other things that you need to get through is we'll run a credit check on you just to make sure that you are eligible. And we'll also check that the loan is affordable for you. We do this by having a look at your personal survival budget. So we have a look at what your current income and costs are, and we check to see whether you'll be able to afford the additional loan repayments or whether the business will need to cover the costs of that. Don't worry, your business advisor will be able to support you in all of these things. So how do you apply? Everything is dealt with online. So basically, you head to the Startup Loans website where you fill in a couple of details about your business and about yourself. The Startup Loans then run a credit check. They make sure that you pass the first requirements in that respect. And they ask you to also upload a draft business plan, cash flow forecast, and a personal survival budget. Don't worry, if you haven't got draft copies of these when you first come on to apply, it's not a problem. All you need to do is drop us a note and we will get in touch with you and we will talk you through the stages that you need to get through. And what we do is we then introduce you to your own personal business advisor. What is a business advisor and what do they do? Well, the business advisor is there to act as a critical friend. And they support you through your journey, your startup loan application journey. And the idea is that they will work with you to make sure that your application is in the best possible position it can be. Now, normally you'll work with them, maybe it's up to you, like how fast you want to apply or how much time you want to take. On average, an application takes maybe about 6 weeks, but it can take as little as a week. It's up to you. Once your business advisor is happy with all the details that you provided and the additional documentation, they will then submit your application to the loan panel. Now, the loan panel will take a look and they may have a few additional questions, which they will feed back to you via the business advisor. But once they're satisfied with all the information that they've been provided, then they'll approve your loan, which is great. Your loan is then administered by our finance partner, and our finance partner is actually GCBF. And they will drop you an email. GCBF stands for Growth Company Business Finance, and they're our finance partner who oversee the administration of all our loans. So if you have any queries or questions about anything to do with your loan, then you'll be directed to GCBF, who can answer any of those questions. And all our credit agreements are now signed electronically, so you don't have to wait for the post, which I know could have been, like, previously was a rather nail-biting time for our founders. So essentially, from the minute you're approved, click on that email, sign your credit agreement electronically. The funds can be in your bank account within 48 hours, and off you go. You're now eligible to enter our funded club.
it out. So let's just record this. And then, yeah, if you can just flick through your slides for me, and we're going to go through it as like a light touch run, then we're going to just go into it. So you're comfortable and I'm comfortable with everything that's going on.
Okay. So can you see that?
Perfect.
So you want me to just
like, flick through, just
riffle through it. Okay, right. So obviously, intro to the webinar, intro to who I am, what we're going to run through.
Yep.
What a personal, like describing the loan, the fact it's a personal loan that can be used for business purposes. You can't access that anywhere else. You can borrow from 500 to 25 over 5 years. You can also borrow, you can have up to 4 founders in a business, so you can take up to 100,000 per business. No early repayment fees or setup fees. Interest rate, it's government backed, and then there's 12 months of post-loan support, which comes with it. This is our first example. It's siblings, gosh, I've forgotten her name, Anna and William Brightman, and they launched Upcircle in 2016. They took, can't remember, I need to double check the amount they took, but they took a loan from us, and it helped them to launch in Waitrose, Whole Foods, Urban Outfitters and Topshop. They then came back and took out, they did our crowdfunding with us, and they're now in Boots and Holland and Barrett, amongst other things. And what they do is they recycle ground coffee beans. No, they recycle coffee grounds and they make them into skincare products.
That's a nice little product.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, and they've got a whole range of products. Yeah, it's really cool.
They can just collect waste. They can actually just go collect coffee waste.
So they go around coffee shops, collect their coffee grounds, and make sure that those don't go into landfill.
Yeah, okay. My question is, how much volume do they have to start doing to make a difference?
Very good question. I don't know that answer. That would have to go to them.
That's my head.
I know, that's a really good question though. Yeah, we think great, but okay, good question. That's completely thrown me. So anyway, then the eligibility criteria, all pretty straightforward. You've got to be over 18, based in the UK, and either starting a new business or been trading for less than 24 months. And you've also got to prove that you haven't been able to secure comparable funding elsewhere. When we talk about comparable funding, we mean, for example, if you've been to a bank and they've said, sorry, you can't take a business loan, or someone who's going to be charging you more than 12 to 15% interest, because that's going to be a face to start off with. That's really going to put your business on the back foot. We also run a credit check, so you need to be able to get through that, and we confirm the loan affordability. So we look at every individual's personal survival budget, and we see whether the additional interest payments or loan repayments are something that they can afford. So we don't want people to overextend themselves, which is really important to us. This is the journey. Essentially, you apply online, you go to the Startup Loans website, fill in some original, like a few details about the business. You then set up an account, and then you go back and you fill in personal details and some more information about the business itself. And with those details, they run the credit check. If you get through that, then you are introduced to a business advisor, and the business advisor essentially acts as the critical friend and provides you with advice and supports you through the loan application. Once the business advisor thinks that you've provided, your application is strong enough, they'll then submit it to the loan panel, who take a look at it. The loan panel may have a few queries that they send back to the business advisor. Once they're happy that everything's been answered satisfactorily, then the loan will be approved, and the loan's administered by our finance partner. And then you get the opportunity to join our funded club, which is where the post-funding support kicks in. And this is the post-funding support. So we broke it down into 2 halves. In the first 6 months, you get access to our webinar series. Some examples of those are on the screen here. So webinars focusing on your brand, marketing, upskilling yourself in PR. We also have webinars about legal advice, how to employ your first employee, as well as additional funding options. There's also a weekly business advice helpline where you get the opportunity to ask anyone anything. Well, I say anyone, but like a business advisor, anything. And then we have quarterly funded club mixers. It's what we had pre-COVID. Now we have monthly online digital meetups, and the funded club have access to exclusive content at those events. And after the 6 months, you get the opportunity to be matched with a mentor. And you would fill in a profile on our community platform, and that will look at your skills, what you're looking for support in, and it matches you with a mentor who has those skills and experience and will be able to support you to the best of their ability. Across the whole of these 12 months, you also get access to the opportunities that we have with our partners. So we work with some of the other Virgin companies, and we frequently provide them with suggestions of businesses that have been funded through us, and they get listed via their platforms and shared with their communities. And there's some really, really, really awesome opportunities there. Who's in the club? So I can talk through a couple of examples of other people that we funded. And these ones are really nice ones. So Aisha, we funded in 2019. We gave her £10,000. And what she wanted to do was she set up a business that she was running as a side hustle. And the £10,000 enabled her to go full-time into her business, the Plattery. And essentially it provides chef quality grazing tables with, and what she's done is she's provided these sharing platters that essentially she lays them out across a whole table, and there's they look absolutely spectacular. She also does picnic boxes and lots of other things. She recently pivoted as well. So she's running another business called Vital Meals, and she's feeding people that aren't able to get sufficient meals, aren't able to cook for themselves, aren't able to access food that they need, which is a really amazing story. Looks Like Me, we funded in 2016. And so Selma Nichols came to us, and she took out £7,000. Now, Selma was sat at home with her daughter one day, and her daughter, Riley Ann, basically said, Mummy, like, no one on these adverts, no one on the television looks like me. So can I straighten my hair, and can I make my skin whiter? Which really upset Selma. Not upset her, but, made her really concerned. She said, what's going on here? And so she decided to set up a talent and model agency that basically focuses on Black and ethnic minority children, and she represents them as a talent agent and works with different brands to get them placed in their adverts and things like that. And she's gone from strength to strength. She's doing absolutely phenomenally. And our startup, the startup loan, basically helped her work on her logo, her brand, build her website, and fund some of her initial marketing and advertising spend. And then Change Please, this is Jamal. Change Please was set up in 2015. And the focus of Change Please is to train homeless people and make them baristas. And what they do is they train up the individuals, and then they give them a coffee cart, and they set them up in different parts of the towns where they operate. And his first coffee cart was set up in Covent Garden. So he took £25,000 from us in 2015. He was one of our earliest applicants. And he has gone from strength to strength. It's amazing. He now has a coffee range, like a take-home coffee range, which is in supermarkets. He is on the trains. So he was on Virgin trains. They're now LNER. And you'll also find his coffee if you ever fly with Virgin Atlantic. And he's setting up similar, he's setting up different businesses, the same business in Australia and Paris.
That's really cool to hear.
And
So
that's
you give
the
them
brief
access
run
to the
through.
network if they're good enough.
Say that again.
You give them access to the network if they are good enough.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, it's not just if they're good enough. It's also if they're, you know, we will put people forward, and it's also if they're proactive enough to say, yeah, I've got a brand and I want to be listed here. I mean, our Virgin Red proposition is amazing. I don't know if you've heard of Virgin Red.
No.
Virgin Red is the loyalty group for the whole of the Virgin Group. So the aim of that business is to link every single Virgin Group within the, within the company, because they're all individual, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they've linked the Flying Club from Virgin Atlantic with Virgin Media. There'll be Virgin Experience Days. We're going to be on there. Virgin Wine. And you take your points, so you can earn points on the app, and you can also spend them. And you can buy so many things. So you can buy products from our startups that are listed on there, up to go and get yourself a sausage roll from Greg's or coffee, etc., etc. It's really awesome, and that's a phenomenal platform for our entrepreneurs to get listed on. I should say our founders to be listed on.
Cool. I think we should maybe touch on the opportunities from Virgin Red. Can I ask like something really quick? The coffee bean company at the beginning that makes the hair beauty stuff. Do you have a case study of a Black business you could show there instead, real quick?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to switch that around. Let me just pause this. Where are we? I'm gonna stop sharing. Press play here.
All right, so we're gonna breathe in. We're gonna count down from 3 to 1. We're gonna breathe in and out 3 times. Okay, so I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, and then that's what we're gonna do. All right. So 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Akil.